Hey guys, good morning. Today I want to do a little video about inducing flowering with having a large difference between nighttime temperature and daytime temperatures. Inducing or at least improving the flowering. So I want to show you what I do here in my greenhouse. Overnight, I try to open the windows. I only do that when it's safe, when the outtime temperatures are not too frosty, because this is where the heat goes when it's cold outside. So I only do it at a certain point in the season, and I try to avoid it too early, because you can lose rare plants in that just aren't used to it. So during the night, I open the window, and this allows cold temperatures to come in. The greenhouse temperatures drop a little bit, but not to an unsafe range, usually. And you need to be aware of the temperatures that you have every night when you do that, because sometimes nighttime temperatures can surprise you. Like you look at the prediction and it says no frost, and then you open the window and it's frosty outside. So yeah, you need to be careful. But having a difference between nighttime temperatures and daytime temperatures can help to bring your plants to flower, or help them a little bit to have a little bit of extra power, because it mimics the natural environment that these plants have. For example, there's some spiny species there. This one, Argentinian species, Candicans like, and so. And it can take cold temperatures at night. Natural environment where these plants grow does have cold night temperatures. It's just in nature something so basic that nighttime temperatures are colder than daytime temperatures. And in the greenhouse you have the chance to create a safe environment for them when it wouldn't be safe outside. So you open the windows at night to let in a little bit of fresh air. It also brings in humidity that collects on the plants sometimes. Overall, it just improves the health sometimes. But you need to keep a close eye on the frost situation, always. And when they had a cold night, after they had a cold night, I then close the window early in the morning, before the sun comes up there. Sun comes up and it will instantly get hot in this greenhouse. Of course, you also need to make sure that it's not getting too hot. So put a little thermostat in there, something that tells you the temperature when it's going into an unsafe range over 30. But a little bit of heat in the morning, short-term heat spikes, are often not that big of a problem. Same as short-time frost spikes. It is a lot more dangerous when you have temperatures in the greenhouse over a week that are over 30, for example. So a little bit of heat. I try to close the window early in the morning, then try to close the door too. And then I wait until the sun goes up. Sun comes and hits the greenhouse, and it's going to be hot for a few hours in the greenhouse. When it's unsafe, I open it up. I also have an automatic window opener where you can say at 30 degrees the thing goes up, which is great. But right now I do not want that, because I want to have them in 30 degrees Celsius. In my opinion, they take it, but I wouldn't say, generally speaking, you can always do that. With my plants, I take a lot of risks, and they reward it very often. Not always, but very often. And with the flowering, I mean, it just helps. Of course, when you have a hot greenhouse, you also need to provide enough water and enough nutrients. So don't close the windows and doors too much when the plants are not getting the water they would need for these temperatures. So yeah, early season, beginning of the season, I open windows, I close them again in the morning when it gets hot. I often do the same like with the doors. Overall, I'm busy looking at the temperatures and reacting every day. Every evening I go out and look at what's going to be the temperature for the next day, roughly. And temperatures can be so surprising. Sometimes you don't expect frost and suddenly it's there. So you need to be very careful about this kind of stuff. It is dangerous, but basically it's also what goes on in nature. Nighttime temperatures, daytime temperatures, like day and night. So yeah, my plants will get a little bit of sun now, and maybe around, I don't know, 1 p.m. I open the greenhouses again, because then it's getting really, really hot. I just want to have a little heat to kiss them awake early in the season, to tell them, hey guys, it's going to be flower season now. Let's have some fun. We have enough energy, we have enough water, the temperature range is right for telling them we are in spring and going towards flower season summer. I mean, in summer, the flower season's already over here. These start flowering around May, and flower season until July. But that's probably the upper range, July, August. I always have stuff flowering in later that year, but it's Lubivia that flower all summer long often, or multi-hybrids, that kind of stuff. But yeah, flower season, May until July, maybe August sometimes. And before that, I try to play a little bit with the temperatures. Always making sure it's safe. I don't want to have like people cooking their plants and telling me I said that I should close the doors. No. You can close the doors if the temperatures are safe. And a little bit of heat, short time spikes, I'm not worried about them at all. Not even with frost. You've seen my frost experiment, and it just isn't so bad until they get frozen for a very long time, like days. When a plant freezes for days, that's a bad thing. But sometimes a short night frost isn't that big of a deal. Here's a plant that's outside. Beautiful Trichocereus gladiatus hybrid, candicans. You see all the humidity on it. But that doesn't happen in the greenhouse often, unless you have a very open greenhouse with not enough insulation. Insulation in a greenhouse plays a big role, and this is where the water usually collects, and less on the plants. Here's one, you can already see the flower buds, but I feel like if this one would get a little bit more natural range of temperatures, it could be further along already. Yeah, and in here I will start opening the windows soon, because there's a limit about when to do that, and it's when the flowering actually starts. In here we are still a good months or two from flowering. They already start with the flower buds, but we're still not there yet, you know. So in here I will try to play with the temperature a little bit, but only until the actual flower buds are forming on the plant, because that's when they are super sensitive to heat. Like, they can expire at any time, like a seedling. And therefore, as soon as it's getting actually hot, really, really hot, then I open the window here. This is a window that I open up, and my window automatic opener, which I do not use currently because I want to be in control of the temperatures myself right now. But yeah, the moment the flowering actually starts, this window is open. so they can cool down during the night and not lose so much water. If you, at some point, if you keep plants in a greenhouse during summer, it gets really hot in there, and you need to be aware of that. You need to make sure that the plants do not drop all of their flowers that you fought hard for early in the season. And yeah, therefore I wouldn't do it longer than when the actual flush is like the plush of the flowers, these little tufts are actually there. Right now you can see yeah, you can see flower buds there. Zoom in, okay. And this is already starting to be at the size where they can drop from too much heat. Here's one that has dropped. See? And this was a heat thing. They often drop them during phases of excessive heat. Yeah. So this is my video on just thinking about the differences between nighttime and daytime temperature and what it does with the flowering. Everywhere in the cactus books, they usually, but not everywhere, but a lot of them have written about creating natural environment temperatures, and that's what we are doing. So and a lot of books have had that passage in that it improves the flowering. It is hard to measure, so I just want to say it definitely helps to create an environment that's natural and that promotes flowering. But yeah, hard to measure. You know how it is with all these claims and all. But this is how I do it, and I think when you look at the flower season videos later, the success kind of shows that there is something going on there. I mean, we are not doing anything than trying to recreate a natural environment for them. Okay, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this video. I appreciate it. Bye.